This podcast is brought to you by the Keto Dojo. Head on over to Facebook, go up to the search bar, type in the Keto Dojo, and you'll find the website. I am the sensei of the Keto Dojo, and we offer great recipes, great support. There's a lot of great people on there having great success. I have lost 50 pounds over the last year or so, and I'm down to almost 17% body fat. It's been a great diet for me. I feel great. All my biomarkers are fantastic. I've eliminated a lot of problems that I had as far as GERD and IBS and floaters in my eyes. I mean, just so many things that have improved since I've been on this diet. So head on over to the Keto Dojo and just have a good time. Get in there, get some recipes, cook you some food. It's an easy diet. It's not a deprivation diet. You can eat whatever you want. It's a lot of meat. It's a lot of fats. It's a lot of good proteins. It's very low on carbohydrates. It's low inflammatory. It's going to help improve a lot of different things that you have going on with you. Get on over there, the Keto Dojo on Facebook. Also, head on over to lulu.com. I wrote a book back in 2006 called It's All Fun and Games Until. Get on over to lulu.com and search that book. You can get an e-format. You can get a hard copy of it. It's a great place to publish your own works. If you got some stuff that you're doing that you want to publish and you don't want to stockpile a bunch of books at your house, get over there and self-publish your works on lulu.com. It's a great place to go. Welcome to Craft Conversations, where I craft a conversation and I talk a little bit about craft beer. I am your host, Brian Dales. Yes, I said I am your host instead of we because it is only me now. Caleb Quire is no longer with the podcast. We have some creative differences. No hard feelings or anything. We just parted ways. So I will be taking over the podcast myself. And it's still going to be pretty much the same format. We're going to talk to some guests. We're going to talk a little bit about craft beer. And we're just going to have a good time. So it may be changing up just a little bit. We may be doing it still here in the Craft Conversation Studios at the Dale's Inn Garden and Pub. We may be going, or I say we, it's me. I may be going remote and taking the podcast to the people. I might be going to the breweries. I might be going to the restaurants, to the businesses, wherever people want to meet me. And I'll take the podcast to them. And we'll have a good time. We'll see some different locations. We'll do some different things. We'll meet some different people. Also, partnering up with Homegrown Brewhouse, and probably going to be doing some stuff within the space there as well. So they got a couple different rooms in the back. I may set up the nice podcast table that you've seen in the videos. Set it up in the backspace there at Homegrown Brewhouse. And talk to people there. It's a great possibility. I may even pull it out to the front of Homegrown Brewhouse on non-busy days when it's not excessively loud, and we might sit at a bar stool and talk from there. Who knows? Who knows what's going to go on? This thing is going to go in a few different directions, and I think you're going to like the changes. I think you're going to like what's going on. I think you're going to like the newness of it. We're still going to talk to the same great people. We're still going to have great music. We're going to have great brewers, breweries, bartenders, all that kind of good stuff. So, with all that said, I've already cracked a beer. We're going to talk about it for a split second. We are now drinking, gosh, I keep saying we. I'm so used to saying we. I am drinking a Dogfish Worldwide Stout. And give me just a second. I'll put it up on the screen. So this is an oak-aged vanilla worldwide stout from Dogfish Head Craft Brewery. 17.5% ABV, 70 IBUs. It's got an average rating of 4.29. It's brewed with a ridiculous amount of barley. We've now taken this Dogfish Head Classic and aged it on oak with real vanilla beans. With a little tender love and care, we foster this beer from smooth, sweet wort into the big, bad, blackened stout it always longed to be. Its bold, port-like complexity goes great with or as dessert. So that's what we got. With all this said, and the new changes that are going on at the moment, I will only be doing audio. And you know what? Who cares? Consensus is that most people did not even watch the videos that were on YouTube to begin with. So all the hard work that Caleb and I both put into the video feeds that we did, we started off initially doing a couple of different angles. We kind of progressed into doing just one angle because it was easier to manipulate and to edit. Even on the remote that we did up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, with Slayton Johnson up there when we did the river rafting, we only did one angle up there as well. Just much easier to manipulate and edit. Well, what's even easier than that is not doing video at all. So right now I'm just going to do the audio, and eventually we will kind of get back into some video type feeds. Sorry, had to pause for a second. Ooh, man, I had to take a sip of that beer. That beer is big. Holy moly. Got this from Lowe's Foods, the beer den up in Somerville in the Oakbrook area. That is a big, delicious, sweet dessert beer. Oh my goodness, I cannot drink a whole lot of that. I got a 32-ounce crowler here that I got. I gave a little bit to my roommate downstairs before I came up, so I've probably got a good 10 ounces in my glass right now. That's probably going to be all I'm going to drink tonight. But it's fantastic, super sweet. You can definitely get the vanilla, heavy, just super creamy, thick mouthfeel stout. It's an American Imperial double. Oh my, that is absolutely fantastic. If I was going to rate that on Untapped, which is the platform that I use to rate beer and kind of look at descriptions that we've always used since the inception of this podcast, I would probably give that a good 4.25. That is phenomenal. I don't eat desserts much anymore, but if I did, I would probably have this with a nice, thick, chewy brownie. That would be fantastic. But this is not going to be a 2.5 hour podcast tonight. This is going to be just a kind of quick down and dirty, just kind of an explanation of where things are going. As I said, Caleb and I have parted ways. No hard feelings, some creative differences that we had. I am going to continue with the Craft Conversations name, and we are still going to be partnered with Bummerville Amphitheater. I'm going to be partnered with Homegrown Brew House and a few other entities. I still want to bring you fantastic music. I still want to bring you fantastic beer. I still want to bring you fantastic local business owners from around town. The theme still stands: influential, interesting, and fun people. That's what we're going to try and get here on the podcast. As I said earlier, I'm going to try and take it around town and get out of the studio a little bit and try and get around the low country and just see different places and experience different things, different people, different vibes. Hopefully that's going to play into the feel of the podcast, and you're going to be able to feel the energy at these different places. The partnership with Homegrown and Bummerville is hopefully going to inspire and rejuvenate, even more so than it already has with the Bummerville Amphitheater moniker. It's going to re-energize that local music scene around town. We want to, or at least I want to, and I think Caleb Taylor does also at Homegrown, and I think Fleming Moore does with Bummerville. We want to try and make Homegrown Brewhouse more of a live concert venue. Right now it's pretty much, they got music there, but it's a craft beer bar. They have 40 different taps on the wall with just South Carolina beer at the moment. Some things are maybe going to be changing with that. We might be bringing in some other beer from around different states, from around the United States, and trying to expand the palate. We want to maybe put in a dedicated stage and dedicate a little bit more space, a little bit more time, a few more days to live music. And this is all just kind of in the works. Nothing is set in stone right now, but this is things that are just being talked about. Kind of a direction this podcast is going to be going in. I envision doing the podcast a lot of times there at Homegrown Brew House, and whoever we have in there, if it's a musician, artist, band, whatever, when the podcast is done, instead of doing like we've done before where we kind of just do a singer-songwriter, single camera type, 2 or 3 different songs, we will actually bring that artist out to the front of Homegrown Brew House and have them showcase their art on the big stage. So that's kind of a new direction that we're going to maybe take it. And we'll still do some of the kind of the singer-songwriter kind of acoustic VH1 style storytellers thing as well. But we want to mix it up and kind of bring you some different, just a different feel, some different looks of music. We want to talk about draft beer, not just craft beer. We're going to have a whole brew house full of craft beer that we have from around the state, and maybe from North Carolina, Georgia, maybe even some California beers, some Oregon, Colorado, all these big places that have fantastic craft beer, and be able to pour that right off the tap and talk about it with guests and with musicians. So that's the direction we're kind of going. So stand by, stay tuned. Things are changing a little bit, going in a different direction, but with the same business model, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to sign off. I'm not going to bore you with all the details at the moment. This will go up tomorrow on iTunes, Podbean, and Spotify as usual. There will be no YouTube video. And I hope you tune in. Things are changing. Things are getting bigger and better. And we're going to start bringing you some hardcore content. Will there be a new co-host? Stay tuned. Who knows? There may be multiple co-hosts. Gosh, I can't even talk tonight. I've been out at the beach all day. I'm tired. I'm not really sunburned, but I've had a lot of sun. It's taking a lot of energy out of me. It's late at night. Right now it is 11:05 at night. I've been at the beach and eating dinner for about the past 7 hours, so bear with me. But I wanted to get you guys some content for the normal Tuesday release tomorrow. And I'm going to try and stay up with the Tuesday, Friday at the moment. I've got about 17 or 18, actually more like 20 guests that want to be on the podcast. We're going to get back to doing some guests here very shortly. But this is the state of the podcast right now. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for your interest. And I will talk to you soon.